Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Comics Evolve, where we discuss all things around comics media culture with your hosts, Andy, Jarian, and Alex.
Welcome to Comics Evolve. Myself, Andy Stead.
And I'm Jarian Gibson.
And I'm Alex Stroud.
We have come live to you tonight on this video to talk all things Deadpool. There's been lots of news, lots of rumours. And then obviously yesterday, we had that reveal of Wolverine and Deadpool fully costumed up on set. So we thought we'd come on, we'd go through a lot of the rumours, some of the news, and just give you our theories. And as always, let's chat. Throw us a message if you're watching via one of our streams, one of our channels. Let us know and join the conversation. So, where do we start? Should we start with this new image that's been released, or images that have been released? We've finally got Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, in his classic yellow and blue outfit. What do we think, Alex? What are you thinking? You're nodding in approval.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think, I've seen some people complain about, he's got sleeves on that costume and stuff like that. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. No. The suit looks great. And, I even love how it's got the little red X on the belt and everything like that, It looks like the accents, they did really, really well on that suit. And what's funny is it even kind of looks like it's similar made to how Deadpool's suit is, I guess, so... It's one of those things where I feel like it looks in the same realm as Deadpool's suit, which I like. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was one of those people that was like, oh, that's a shame that it's got sleeves. But, it's minor, isn't it? It's doesn't really matter. It's minutiae, isn't it? It's minutiae. Jarian, what are your thoughts on it?
I think he kind of looks like the classic Wolverine from the Astonishing X-Men series. So, we're finally getting in, that proper Wolverine costume that we've been wanting for, that they've kind of teased the yellow and brown, yellow and black or yellow and brown one for a while, but we're getting the yellow and blue one. So looking pretty good. I like what I've seen so far. This, kind of ups the ante for what's going on with Deadpool 3. And this definitely feels like it's going to be a Deadpool kills the Fox universe type of film.
It does. And so that brings us to some of those other leaked images that we've seen. We've seen that there's a huge 20th Century Fox sign that's sort of been dumped in this wasteland that they're in and that they're fighting in front of, which is really interesting, and it's quite meta, isn't it? It's very much like, look, we're going to do this. What do we think that means? I know we was chatting earlier, we were sort of throwing ideas back and forwards, and I know, Jarian, you said something, so over to you.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're in the void and they got pruned and they're fighting in the void, and maybe that's how Deadpool gets into the main universe. But I know, Alex, go ahead and say what you were saying, because you had a very good thought about this in our chat earlier.
Oh, okay. Is it about the Vanessa thing?
Yeah, about how he can basically bring people over, or just himself to get to the main timeline.
Yeah, so I had this kind of crazy idea when I was sitting here thinking about it. At the end of Deadpool 2, when he goes back and he changes events, he does things like save Vanessa.
Could turn back tonight.
Yeah. So if he can go back and he can do these things, and he's going back and changing events, maybe the TVA pops in, TVA grabs him. They're like, so we have Vanessa. You're going to work for us. You're going to do a couple of things. And maybe that's how he meets Wolverine. And then it's one of those things where it's like it completely goes off the rails, because he's mentioned Wolverine with the little fake face mask, I guess, with Hugh Jackman in the first Deadpool movie. He talks about him several times in the second movie. And, maybe this is just one of those things where that's his breaking point for Deadpool. He meets Wolverine and it just goes off the rails. He just throws caution to the wind with what he was doing. And, he's like, maybe you got to help me save Vanessa, Wolverine. And maybe they do that together. I think that would be kind of a cool idea,
And adding on to that, maybe they bring over not just Vanessa with Wolverine, but they bring Dopindar over. They bring over his roommate. I'm going blank on her name.
Blind out.
Yeah.
This is my thoughts on it. They played heavily in the final moments of Deadpool 2 into family. He said, this is our you know, a effed up family, and it's just take a pinch of this, a pinch of that, and blah 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 blah, and you've got yourself a family. And yeah, I think that's he's not really a selfish man, is he? Like Wade, he really isn't. Like, you know, he puts on this bravado, but you know, he's a soft touch really, and I think that that'll definitely play it. Like I said, I reckon Alex, they'll say, look, you know, like what Alex was saying, the TVA will come in, they'll prune him, they'll send him to the void, he'll somehow manage, he'll team up with Wolverine, he'll somehow get out, and the TVA say, right, fine, look, you've got to do this, you've got to go and prune these people, you've got to eliminate these timelines, and we'll save your family from an incursion, and we'll put you into the sacred timeline.
I think it would be absolutely amazing if they used Mobius for this, where Mobius comes in and Mobius is like, hey, like, you know, we see kind of a similar situation to Loki, like, hey, we need your help to do this, and they're really just using him to kind of get to another goal, and that goal could simply just be killing all the Fox X-Men, you know? And I would love that, because it would be kind of one of those things where it's like, it goes right back to that line in Deadpool 2, just cleaning up the timelines, you know, like, it's so perfect, I think, for this trilogy for Deadpool.
From the chat here, Jimmy Cloud via YouTube, he's holding Deadpool's arm. Oh my God. And then from one of the Facebook people, it's possible that's in the void. Yep. Is it possible? And it looks like it. Definitely looks like it could be in the void and that kind of stuff. And interesting to see too is just like, who all does he go to kill? Are we gonna get cameos from everyone? You know, are we gonna get like all three Reed Richards maybe? You know, Krasinski, Ian Grufford, and Miles Teller. Are we going to get all those Fantastic Four characters he's going to pop off? You know, are we going to get... We know there's X-Men in this movie, you know, from the Fox X-Men franchise. So seeing that happen, you know... Well, interesting, too, that since you mentioned family and friends, is he going to bring people like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead over, too, or just the core people? Because we know all of them are back. The only person I haven't seen back is... if they're bringing Weasel back, who plays, what's his name, plays him.
I do not remember his name.
Yeah, that actor, if they're going to bring him back. I haven't heard any news about him at all, coming back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I know the guy you're talking about now. Sorry, it took me a second to know you mean. Yeah, he's a comedian, isn't he? He's actor. The guy that owns the bar. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but yes, yeah, I reckon that whole crew will be back. But yeah, I mean, talking about who we're going to see. There's rumours this week of Jennifer Garner returning as
Elektra.
So Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and I think somebody said it'd be hilarious to see Deadpool turn up at that playground fight scene and just comes in and goes, "No, we're not doing this." Just kills them both and then leaves.
Hilarious. From the chat here, another one. Everything non-canon to the MCU can Disney can touch. So basically, they're taking like, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Netflix shows, all that kind of stuff. Oh, Harry, thank you. TJ Miller. And someone goes from the chat here from the Facebook, thank you. I think he's pretty much blacklisted. So yeah, maybe he's not playing a role in this film at all. But yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got the Elektra and Ben Affleck. We know that you said that there was some X-Men, so Famke Jackson and Halle Berry and James Marsden, I think, were rumoured, weren't they? And I don't know, did we have anyone else?
Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen. So I don't think we've heard anyone else from that series.
We need to see David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
That'd be funny.
I just need to see Deadpool kill Cyclops on screen. That just needs to happen. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Brian Cox. You're right. Brian Cox will be back from Thank You Facebook.
As Stryker.
Yeah, as Stryker.
Yeah, as Stryker. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see which moments. Let's try and think of some moments that Deadpool could pop up in. Like if Brian Cox is back, that's X-Men 2. You know, so roughly when's he going to pop up within that movie? Do you think?
I'm not sure. You know, it's going to be interesting too, because like we've got the issue with the timelines with the X-Men movies too, right? Like where people complain about the timelines and the different actors and stuff. And Deadpool's made that remark before. Yep. Are you this actor or this actor playing, you know, this character? So, I mean, they could honestly, like, I mean, kind of play a little bit, you know, with this. Like, they could have this be, like, all because of the issue with the two timelines and the actors and everything. Maybe it's one of those things where Deadpool's wiping out the Fox universe because it doesn't make sense for some reason, you know, like,
and which makes a good point. Are they going to bring back any of those X-Men from that second X-Men franchise? You know, we know Jennifer Lawrence did get killed, you know, in the movie, but he could jump any time where they could have her make a cameo even, in this, because she played Mystique. So
I was thinking, I don't think this is a Wolverine that we've seen. That Wolverine that we've seen in this picture, yesterday, I don't think that's a Wolverine that we've already seen on screen. Like, that's a different universe Wolverine.
And the only thing that I could think, if that's not the Void, was what if this is like a timeline where Wolverine's outlived everybody and he's like one of the last people on Earth, and Deadpool finds him, and then he like, it goes back to like that line I think he has in the comics where he says one of his worst fears is being stuck on Earth with the only person that might live long enough with him, and it's Deadpool. And like, you know, like those two are the last people on Earth, and Deadpool's just like poking him and won't leave him alone, you know? Like, that would be one of those, I feel like, funny moments they could do. Like, there's an alternate timeline, and he runs into it, and then he's like, Wolverine's one of the last people on Earth, you know?
What if they also jumped into Wastelander stuff too? Like a quick scene or something just to tie into the Wastelander stuff. That would be pretty cool.
If they can open that up, brilliant. Just open that universe up. Don't give us too much. Just open that universe up so that we can see it later on down the line.
From the Facebook chat here, or is it's just Hugh playing Hugh?
Don't say that.
Yeah. It would be cool though. We know that at some point we're getting mutants or probably X-Men in the MCU. It'd be kind of neat that if he did pull Colossus into the main timeline, that's our MCU Colossus. Maybe if they pulled a couple of characters from the Fox franchise, like for example, I love the actress who played Storm in the remake. Yeah, you know, to see her come over, you know, and maybe some of those people that come over as MCU characters, I think that'd be pretty neat if because of this they got pulled into the MCU.
Yeah, I think you could probably pick a good mix of X-Men that have played the X-Men on screen, couldn't you? I quite like James Marsden as Cyclops. You know, I thought he played a good Cyclops. I don't think what he got was very good. Like, his storyline wasn't great. They didn't show him off well, but I think he could have played a very good Cyclops. Do you know what I mean? I think he suited the role that Cyclops should have been. Does that make sense?
Yep,
definitely.
Yeah, and they didn't really. They kind of done him dirty by not doing him dirty. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't really the arsehole that we've seen.
Yeah,
the Cyclops should be.
Yeah, he was like Mr. Neat and Tidy, you know? Like, I mean, he was almost like a Boy Scout almost in a way, you know? Like,
and that's not really who Cyclops is.
Yeah.
Too nice. I also liked Rebecca Romaine, her portrayal of Mystique better than Jennifer Lawrence too, as well. Nothing against either actress. I'm just saying I think Rebecca Romaine's Mystique was a better Mystique than Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique.
There you go. Somebody in the chat there.
Yep. From the Facebook chat here, we'd love to see Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler again. Actually, I like both Nightcrawlers across the two different franchises. So,
and you know what they could totally do is they could totally put Quicksilver from Fox in this movie, and that's totally just gonna make everybody's like mind like, what? After just seeing WandaVision, like this, I'm so confused right now. You know, like it'd be so awesome.
And pulled him into the MCU.
So aside from mutants, we've touched on the Fantastic Four. You know, Jarian, I think it's a great shout. All three Mr. Fantastics. I mean, we're just on the Fantastic Four. Do you think we'll see Chris Evans as the Human Torch?
That would be a pretty cool thing, but I don't know. It sounds like he's pretty much done with the superhero stuff for now. So, yeah, I don't know if we'll see him as Human Torch. I don't even think we'll see either of them. I don't think we'll see Chris Evans or Michael B. Jordan Human Torch.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan might very much confuse things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Michael Chiklis as the Thing. Yep. So I would love to see him as the Thing. I thought that was like one of the best Fantastic Four castings, being honest, like so far.
One of the best I think that's up there in the top 10 Marvel castings of all time, of any movie, MCU included. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, just absolutely nailed that role. That was so good.
I would absolutely adore a scene of Michael Chiklis's Thing fighting like the Hulk in the MCU at some point. That would just be so cool. Like, you know, like I'd watch that 100 times if I could in a row.
Anybody else? I know I joked about Nick Fury, about David Hasselhoff, but it's not really a joke. I would quite like to see it. But like, you know, Blade or Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
The 80s Howard the Duck.
You got another Punisher. You obviously got Thomas Jane as the Punisher as well. So sadly, we can't have Ray Stevenson for obvious reasons. God bless his soul. But anyone else you can think of that we can might as well throw the kitchen sink.
I mean, I know this isn't going to happen, but he can definitely go and kill Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. I mean, I'd be all open for that, you know? Like, I'm not a big Nick Cage fan, but yeah. I mean,
speaking of that'd be a cool scene. He sees both Ghost Riders, Robbie Reyes, what's his name that played Luna that played and then Nicolas Cage's Johnny Blaze, and he's like, he sees Robbie Reyes, not that one, I want that one, and he kills Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider.
I just want to see him try and use the penance stare on Deadpool and it not work or something like that one scene in the comics where he's like, well, what's this? And he's like, is it like a highlight reel? And Ghost Rider's like, yeah. And he's like, roll the tape then, you know, like, oh, dude, that'd be so awesome.
Brilliant.
It'd be interesting, too, to see if they could do anything with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, jump in there and just wipe everybody out. Or wipe the universe. He shows up in that universe with Thanos' gauntlet, just snaps it out and walks out. He goes, okay, that was too easy.
Yeah, I mean, he could just show up and start killing people and be like, this isn't canon, this is canon. He's so funny.
Oh, Iron Fist. Yeah.
Yes. So that was going to be my next. That was going to be my next place to go. Do you think that this is how they're going to get any of these Netflix characters over? You know, Mike Coulter or you know, Finn Jones or somebody else? I don't know. Do you know? I think they'll include that bit as well.
I mean, there's all kinds of rumors about Jessica Jones coming over. So maybe she has a parents and he pulls her in, or they don't touch her, or they only touch Michael Coulter since he's not. Doesn't seem like he's coming back. And then Finn Jones is Iron Fist. But yeah, Iron Fist would be my number one to get in that universe.
What do you think of about a name? Do you think they're going to go very obvious? I mean, could it simply be Deadpool kills the Foxverse?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that would. I don't know. Alex, you're shaking your head.
No, I almost feel like that's too like on the head. I feel like
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like I feel like that would. I don't know. I feel like they would probably somehow get sued for that somehow. I don't know.
Well,
you know
instead of kill, they could say Deadpool prunes the Foxverse. You know, for the TV
I think just using Fox. I think.
Okay.
His point.
Yeah. So like, I feel like I remember like for the second movie, Ryan Reynolds was talking about making the name Electric Boogaloo or something like that, like Deadpool 2 Electric Boogaloo or something like that. And I was like, what? So like, I could totally see him coming up with something strange, or just like Deadpool 3 and like Wolverine taped underneath or something, and Wolverine or something, you know, like they could totally just do something like that. I don't know.
Here you go from the chat. Just kills the multiverse. There you go.
Yeah. Deadpool kills the multiverse. Yep, perfect. What about a TVA? I mean, I know we've kind of said that they're gonna, you know, are we going to see Renslayer? We're going to see Miss Minutes. I think there was a rumor of Miss Minutes. There is a rumor of obviously Mobius. We know that, but how much of a part are they going to play? And it's going to be a huge part, do you think, or just a smaller role, like just setting the wheels in motion, or do you think they'll be sort of popping in? I kind of see Mobius as the Rufus of Bill
and Ted. Yeah,
from Bill and Ted. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just sort of popping in every now and again to check that, you know, Deadpool's on track. You know, have you killed somebody now? Yes, you have. Right, good. Okay.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is going to be probably a large part of the plot. I just don't know if the TVA are going to be a large focal point on this movie. I feel like they're going to point him in the direction of, like, they're going to pull him into the fold, because they're like, all right, first off, you've been doing a bunch of time travel stuff that we have to fix now, so, like, we're just going to go ahead and yank you in. And then they may put Deadpool on trial, and he'll get that Loki situation where he'll work out a deal to work for him, like it seems like how everybody ends up doing. You know, and they'll do that thing where he'll go and kill a bunch of people, and then he'll eventually make his way to Wolverine and be like, I can't kill you, you're Wolverine, you know, and like, that's going to be where it just goes like completely off the rails, I feel like. And it's one of those things where it kind of makes sense, because like Deadpool just wandering around the multiverse, I feel like it would be a lot better if they were like, hey, we've got an issue with mutants, because a lot of them do time travel stuff. The X-Men movies did it. you know, like, and they even had like Wolverine go back and change events in the past and stuff like that. So, I mean, they could relate it to stuff like that and maybe just blame that mutants and time travel and stuff like that are the problem. And Deadpool, go fix this, you know, like we're going to use somebody else that's caused problems to go fix other problems, you know, so.
Outsource their problems.
Yeah, I think minimal TVA will be this movie. Mobius, Miss Minutes, that's it. Maybe some background characters for a trial, but that's it. And we might see, you know, Miss Minutes pop in every now and then. Hey, y'all, what's going on? You know, that whole thing there. She just pops in to see what he's up to, make sure he's staying on task, you know, and then maybe you see Mobius again in the end. But yeah, I don't know how much we'll see TVA past that.
I've just seen Jamie's comment. Jamie, did you have to? We was having a really nice conversation, and now you're going to do this to us.
I won't go on a tangent on this, but I'd love this comment. Have him approach Taskmaster from Black Widow, and Mobius pops in. I'm sorry, Wade, but not that one.
There's absolutely two things I'd love to see, and if Deadpool goes and gets put on trial in the TVA, I want to see him make a remark like, "Oh, so y'all didn't do this to Captain America, but you're doing it to me," you know, type of thing. And then the other thing that I want to see is if they put one of those collars on him. He had one of those like in Deadpool 2, so I want to see him be like, "Oh, another collar? Really? That's just lazy writing." Like, you know, like he made a lazy writing remark in the second movie. So
yeah.
so awesome. So.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah, he's like, I've had this one before, you know, trying the number again on his back.
I doubt they would do this, but have that Chris Evans cameo as Captain America return the stones and Deadpool just pop in and be like, this guy again, not real, you know, kind of making a smart ass comment. But I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see just some kind of like play on that of Cap return the stones.
Yeah, nice. So it's early doors, isn't it? I mean, we don't know. It's complete speculation. But, you know, do we think that that's where this is going to lead? This is going to lead to Deadpool being, you know, this job that he's doing for the TVA. Is that going to lead him inserted into the sacred timeline and fully integrated into the MCU as we know it?
I hope so. You know, him and a couple of key characters from, you know, the Deadpool movies. I would hope so.
Yeah, I was like thinking about it, and I know we talked about it earlier, but wouldn't it be so awesome if like his Nexus event is when he meets Wolverine? Like, you know, like that would be just such a weird little like twist on this story. Like that's when things go and like compound 100 times worse than they were before.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I honestly think at the end of this, like maybe he gets dumped out, maybe they escape. Like, you know, maybe this is one of those things where somehow they make it to the sacred timeline and they don't know they're there somehow and they remain there. I would like to hold out that we get Hugh Jackman at least for maybe one fight with Hulk. Like I'm just like, you know.
So that was going to be my last sort of point that I wanted to make. We spoke about Wade getting out and his sort of family. Do we think that Hugh's going to get out of this? Or do we think he's going to cop it at the end of this movie? I'm with you, Alex, not necessarily for the Hulk thing, but I'd like to see him just interact with other characters that we've had in the MCU, you know, maybe in Secret Wars or something like that. And then we get a new Wolverine going forward from, you know, with a new sort of set of X-Men. That's what I'd like to see. But I mean, you obviously just tell us what you'd like. Jaren, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, real quick from the chat, from Facebook, could he escape through an incursion in reference to Wolverine? I think that's one idea. And then my thought would be, we kind of just maybe at the end see Mobius open the door and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine walks through it and they leave it open. You know, that way he could have come back any time, but they just leave it open. They don't kill him. They don't do anything with them. They kind of just leave it open to where he could come back any time in the MCU if they wanted him to come back.
What if Deadpool is the start of an incursion of the Fox universe into the sacred timeline, the 616? So, like, you know, he is kind of like the one that starts to cause those two universes. And then they're like, we have to wipe out the Fox universe, in essence, like to prevent this from, you know, ramming into the other universe, in essence. And that's how we get some characters left over and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens in the comics, isn't it? With the incursions, the two sort of groups of heroes from those universes start fighting, and yeah, absolutely, I can see that happening totally, Alex. Yeah.
Do you think they'll make that 838 since Patrick Stewart's Professor X is in it, or they'll make it another universe with a different number designation?
I think a different number. I think that 838 wasn't the X-Men universe, the old X-Men universe.
Yeah, it could always just be like a branch off of that universe too. So it could be like the same universe but with a different future or something. It's very weird thinking about time.
Yeah, and it's so messy, isn't it? And that's the point, isn't it? That's the point.
We didn't even talk about Inhumans. Inhumans project. Yeah. I loved Anson Mount in Multiverse of Madness, and I'd love to see him back in some form. Even he could play Reed Richards for me, but that TV series they had was just absolutely terrible. So I'd love to see that one getting taken out in this movie.
Yeah, that was pretty poor, wasn't it? That was bad. And they even had the guy, I don't know what his name is, but the guy that played, I was in Game of Thrones. He was, oh my God.
I still haven't seen it, so I can't help you.
The guy that played Maximus in Humans, he was in Game of Thrones. Thank you. There we go. Another name. Ewan Ryan. Yeah. He was in Game of Thrones. I can't remember who he played in Game of Thrones. I'm guessing that's Jamie. Can you remember who he played in Game of Thrones, Jamie? I know the character. I just can't remember his name. But anyway, he was in that, and he's a really great actor. And it was rubbish. And Anson Mount was pretty good in Multiverse Madness. Like, he should have been better, really, but it wasn't.
He's great on Star Trek. I gotta go look which one it is again, but he's great on Star Trek. Anson Mount.
Okay.
I just think we have like such a possibility of such crazy things happening, and it being so funny. Like, you could totally see Deadpool like meeting Black Bolt and then just pulling out like a pair of sound canceling headphones and putting them on and like thinking that's gonna stop him from like hurting him or something. Like, I can't hear you, and then just get blown like out of the building. You know
what? It's all the sort of things that you sort of you joke about. Oh, how could we beat that hero? Oh, just put a set of headphones on. Yeah, that'd do it. And like. You sort of all of these silly little things, and like I say, I just want to see Deadpool just picking at all the silly things that we've picked up on in these projects in the past. Why is, like I say, like the playground scene in the Daredevil movie? Like, can we just stop this now and just kill them straight away? Like, don't even let them do it. Just all these little insults. I think that'd be great.
They have that scene where Pyro's spraying the fire and he just comes up with a fire extinguisher and sprays like Pyro, like puts him out. Like,
stop playing with fire, kid.
Yeah, that'd be so funny.
From the chat here about Ewan Ryan, who played Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones, from the chat, thank you. Facebook chat, he's been very unlucky since Game of Thrones. Jimmy Cloud via YouTube chat, Chris Evans did a cameo in the Free Guy movie. Yep, that's a great point. So I don't think a cameo from him isn't out of the realm of possibility. So that's a great point.
A brilliant cameo in Free Guy as well. That was absolutely quality. I loved that. That was so good. Any final thoughts on what we've seen so far?
I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm excited for just to see even a trailer once they get to that far. So hold on a second. Oh, here's one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great one. Need to see Deadpool versus Hannibal King also. Yeah, because he played Hannibal King in Blade 3. So yeah, that's a great one right there.
Seen that kind of thing happen already, haven't we? We've seen him take out himself in Origins, and we saw him take out himself from reading the Green Lantern script. So yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, for me, I was a little bit concerned about this movie being like, I have quite a few friends that are going to go see this movie, but they're not like caught up with the MCU and stuff. They don't know about the TVA and stuff. And I was like a little bit concerned that maybe it wouldn't like flow well going with this movie, but I've sat down, I've thought about it and everything. And I think this movie is like, it sounds like it's going to be a perfect like third movie for the original two, which weren't originally with this studio. I mean, it's almost like it's so perfect how they ended that previous movie to lead into this. Yep. It was like,
any more better luck, could it? Really?
Yeah, I almost believe that they planned this, so they knew that this was going to happen or something. Like it's just like wow. So like I think this is like a great example of a Marvel movie that like people are going to show up to see Wolverine. People are going to show up and they're going to like not be surprised about time travel and stuff because they've seen wacky time travel in the last Deadpool movie. So
and in the other X-Men movies as well.
Exactly. So, like, I really think this is going to be, like, a very good movie for Marvel because, like, a lot of people are going to show up. I have a friend that hasn't watched a Marvel movie since Black Widow, And he's already like, yeah, I'll be back in the theater for Deadpool 3. And I'm like, all right,
Nice.
so, yeah.
Nice. Brilliant. Okay. That's been great. That's exactly what we wanted to do tonight. We wanted to come on and just get all of that out of the system. We'll be back on Sunday with our normal show. Lads, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Both Jamies, I think, have joined us tonight on the chat. So that was great. And if you've been watching on one of our other channels, thank you very much. And hit the like and subscribe buttons. Share us. Do whatever you have to do. It's been a pleasure, guys. Take care.
Bye.